So Watches and Wonders 2025, we're going to do a little bit of our take on what we saw from Rolex. I am George, this is Ryan. We are collectively the watch guys at Oliver Smith, and I'm so curious. I went to see it live, and I went tabula rasa, man. I knew nothing until I saw it, but you got to kind of learn about it and see it as it rolled out. I'm really curious to get your take on what you thought of the Rolex stuff.
So that Sunday when it all kind of rolled out, or Monday, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I was just fielding text messages for the land dweller. And basically everybody was like, oh, it looks like a Tissot PRX and it looks like AP and,
Sure.
made a baby and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
No, it is a nod to the Oyster quartz.
Absolutely.
During the quartz crisis, they came out with this watch, which is still a pretty cool watch.
Pretty cool watch, yeah. And actually before that, they did an automatic version. They just used that chassis for their quartz movement. But yeah.
And then they debut their brand new automatic movement in it.
Yeah.
Exhibition back, 5 hertz, which is the first time they ever did it. I knew they used a Zenith back in the past. Don't go crazy in the comment section. They actually detuned that.
Yeah.
28.8.
Yep.
So this is the first time they actually did the 5 hertz. But I think it was brilliant. I mean, I know you didn't love the dial. I still haven't seen one in person.
Sure.
But, I mean, I thought it was great. So I was just fielding messages all day that day, basically, like, defending the watch because I was like, they did so much more than people thought they did.
Yeah.
They just thought they just copied something. I'm like, no, that's what Tissot copied.
Anytime you see a watch with an integrated bracelet, you got to give Gerald Gente his credit. You got to give AP this credit. There's a long lineage for that. And Rolex was part of that in the 70s, in the 80s. So they were one of the early ones who did it first. I will give it the finish is flawless. Rolex. So they made something beautiful, but it was like great work, just awful execution. I didn't first blush, I hated the dial. Then I didn't care for the dial. Still have not seen it in my hand. I don't know how light plays on that dial. And that's right. It's funny. Everybody was like looking through the glass, and we're all kind of doing the snake thing, trying to see how light's playing on the dial. I like it in platinum.
Yeah.
It works in blue for me. I like it better with the baguettes because it's like go full press.
Can't wait to see what they do like color-wise with the stainless steel or
Rolex, yeah.
option. Dial colors and things like that. Are they going to do like a full run of Datejust line, basically? Switch out the dials?
That's my expectation. They debut it in this wild dial and all this kind of stuff. But like to me, that you liked it because it reminded you of Lamborghini.
It does. It reminds you of a Lamborghini Huracan. So if you've ever driven one or ever seen one, everything on that thing is basically like a hexagon or like this honeycomb pattern. Next thing that I want to talk about is that 1908. One of like the kind of sneak surprises of the show, like nothing I really thought they would do, or I guess, I feel like we all thought it was coming at some point. They were going to throw that thing on a bracelet, but the way they did it, it looks it's like a 7-link Jubilee, basically.
I didn't see it coming, and I didn't think I was going to fall as hard for that watch as I did. For those of you who watch the channel, a couple years ago, Celebration Dial did the same thing to me, where there's a watch that just kind of catches my eye, and I go, oh, that's really good. And then you go around and you're filming, you're doing all this stuff out there, and then you go back and see it again. Yep. You go back and see it again. It kind of sits with you, and that was that watch for me this year, full stop. It's definitely a contender for my favorite watch of the year. The watch I want the most. I'm glad you like it too. Well, and then that platinum one in the 1908, it's still fabulous. I still haven't seen that out in the wild.
And then the one take that you kind of said when you got back was the root beer. You didn't really like the dial on that.
So yeah, the Iron Tiger Iron dial, it was not doing it for me at all. I didn't understand it. It felt really busy on the root beer. Way too much going on. And in the back of my head, I'm going, okay, well, it's a stone, so there's going to be multiple variations. And again, I can't hold it. I can't play it on the light. I can't see the chatoyance of the actual material, so I don't know that for a fact. But then it occurs to me like, oh no, this is probably the best dial they can come up with. I mean, they're not going to put like a mid dial out there. They're going to put the best one they can find out there. Like, oh, that's the best you can do. And again, all this stuff, I always hold my final thoughts until I can see it live. Yes. Now, most of these watches we're not going to see live for quite some time.
Especially us in the pre-owned market.
Someone actually even said, somebody kind of in the know, said that with the Rolex dealers on the Land Dweller, they're going to get one to kind of gauge interest and take orders. If you sell that one watch, you probably will not see another one for up to 9 months. So it's going to be a slow rollout. And again, if you know different, please comment below because I'm very, very curious to what people are hearing out there. Yeah. This is just a buddy of mine who happens to work for a dealership, and that's what they told him. So I want to know how much of it is. The resale is going to be crazy, especially right off the bat. Secondary market's going to be huge. New OPs. What were your thoughts?
Oh, Loved them, to be honest with you. I wish the purple was a bit darker. I'm a big Vikings fan and Suns fan, but the pistachio and like whatever they call the other yellow
sand something,
I thought were phenomenal. I mean, again, still I haven't seen them in person.
Yep.
He has, but like I think they look great in the photos.
Pistachio is fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I mean, shoot, it's your bathroom.
It's absolutely mid-century modern green, absolutely perfect. The sand, something was a little discordant there. It made the loom plots really pop white. And not necessarily in a bad way, but it's like it,
more legible.
Yeah, but just like slightly off-putting. I don't know. So reserved on that one. Pistachio, absolutely. The lavender or whatever calling that, fabulous. Both really, really good colors. That new sort of blue that they did was really hot. And I'm an OP guy. Yeah, I like the simplicity of the watch. I think they did a great job on that. Sad to see my Celebration dial did not show up this year, so that is officially canceled. I will never be able to afford that watch. Hey, if you guys want to sell me one at retail, please comment below, reach out. But yeah, so that was my lamentation.
What'd you think about the Tiffany Daytona?
First blush, I thought it was ugly. But in looking at it, again, you always go back twice. I think they missed a really cool opportunity on that watch. Doing that watch on Oyster Flex left me completely flat. For me, on that watch, first time ever, debuted a yellow gold Jubilee on a Daytona.
Oh, that would have been wild.
Mic drop. But of course, they're not listening to me. Whatever. No Coke, no.
Yeah, no Coke, but we got a more green Sprite or Riddler or whatever you want to call it. So.
I am curious about the ceramic dial. So the color matches, which is really nice. That always kind of bothered me about the Hulk. Two different greens, yeah. And so I will give them that. Rolex seems to know what they're doing. I think they've been around for a minute. But I also kind of commented into, okay, cool watch. Why? It's still the Riddler. I don't know why. But I liked it. It was fine.
Right. Speaking of green though, John Mayer 2.0.
Yep.
I thought that looked, I mean, obviously I haven't seen it in person, but I thought that looked great with the yellow stub dial.
Yeah.
It broke up the dial a little bit for me. I think they removed the red. I don't know if you guys have seen the John Mayer up close, but there is some red accents on the original John Mayer. But I thought that one looked like...
Yeah, and a lot of the brands this year, I thought were working hard not to reinvent the wheel necessarily, but just smooth it over. Yes, tweak it. Yeah. And that was part of that. You went, yep, good job.
Yep.
You know, nothing groundbreaking there, but they did a great job on it. So I was very, very excited about that.
Phenomenal.
In closing, I guess Rolex does what Rolex does, and whether controversial or not, we're all going to want them. We're all going to see them. If you guys have questions, we have answers. We have stores here in Scottsdale, 2 of them. We have Bergani. We're down in Scottsdale Fashion Square. And if you are fortunate enough to get to Aspen, please say hi to Bo and Deidre for us.
Please make a Coke next year.